Greetings, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and welcome to your mid-month reading. I trust that you have been doing well. Before we go ahead and get started, I did want to mention a few things regarding the energies. So please note that this is a general reading for those who resonate with the sign of Taurus, meaning this message may not resonate with every Taurus out there. If this is not your story, then please do not try to make it fit. Tarot is energy work, so we want to ensure that we're using it responsibly and maturely. And so, we give forth great love and honoring. Let's go ahead and begin your reading. All right, Taurus. So, how these readings are going to work from here on out is that they're going to be more generalized. So, rather than focusing just on intimate connections, we're actually going to take a look at the entire scope of your life, spiritual, mental, as well as physical, and see what it is that you most need to know at this time. Okay. So, we get some cards from the Hidden Realms Oracle. Let's see what we have for my Taurus. Thank you. So the first card is the Dream Walker. Dreams, the collective good, and illusions. Interesting. So some of you could be having very thought-provoking dreams in this upcoming time, whether you consider them as good dreams or bad dreams, it doesn't really matter. It is also indicating that you should be paying attention to your dreams, Taurus, because that is really actually your subconscious mind communicating with you. Okay. So especially those dreams that seem very real and they could be very strange in different ways. The reason why it seems that way is because our dreams are composed of our subconscious thoughts throughout the day. And essentially what our subconscious mind is composed of is all of the unconscious information that we absorb each and every single day, and ultimately that all builds up and becomes what is also known as our memory. Okay, so the subconscious is also known to be responsible for what modern science says is 97% of our existence. Okay, so only 3% of our existence do we actually consciously take action and choose what we do, right? So this is really interesting because in knowing that as well, I'm actually going to place this here. In knowing that, this can be also an indicator for some of you to start looking into doing dream work, okay? And again, these are a lot of practices that go, people go their whole life without actually committing to it or trying it, but it does seem that, or even for some of you, it could even be more so something to do with something on the side of journaling as well. Okay, we also have Gaia's Garden on the bottom: fruition, abundance, and reaping what you sow. Okay, and this is the recognition that we do indeed live in an abundant and infinite universe, and so therefore, whatever you truly desire to create, it is possible. There is a way, there is a path. However, it's only due to our own limitations that will pretty much ensure how far we actually go in terms of meeting our goals, meeting our dreams, etc. Okay, so what I feel here for some of you is that this could be also indicating that there needs to be some form of work or fine-tuning done to the subconscious, and even more so the spiritual and mental components of your life right now, right? Because we know that perfect balance is all of them as one, right? There is no separation, only in terms of observing and studying these aspects of selves do we look at them separately, but the true mystic knows that it is all three at all times, right? And so how do you gauge then what you might need to focus on or master in this particular part of your experience? Taurus, how do you find that out is then taking a look at, perhaps what have you been most drawn to lately? Have you been focusing very much on the external world, on the physical? Perhaps some of you, especially with the collective appearing here, some of you could be perhaps even too focused or even influenced by the opinions or the ideas of others, or you're coming to a realization of that. Okay. Again, it's all about what we are exposing ourselves to. But going back to it, so maybe some of you have actually been drawn more to the physical. If that is the case, then maybe it's time for you to retreat and to spend more time on your internal realms, right? So it's, and on the same aspect, right? If you've perhaps been very much in your head, perhaps you've been experiencing some form of anxiety and things like this, okay, again, this might be telling you that you need to focus more on the spiritual component, or even, yes, the physical component in terms of your health and well-being, right? So let's go ahead, Taurus, and pull the cards. So how this reading is going to work is I'm going to pull some cards first for you, and essentially the energies that are surrounding you at this time that you need to be aware of, Taurus, and then we're going to take a look at who or what may be coming your way and what you most need to know regarding that, okay? So let us begin. I'm going to get a card first for you from, let's use the Heal Yourself Oracle today. Oops. So please give me one card for my Taurus, thank you. Interesting, so we have number 23, patience, okay? There may be something that you are waiting to happen, okay? This is the reminder that patience is indeed a virtue, okay? But patience also does not mean, Taurus, that we simply wait around for things to change or for results to suddenly appear. True patience is being able to know that things will come to you in divine order, and having faith in that, while still keeping oneself busy, while still doing, the mundane day-to-day tasks, and seeing, the beauty and just all of the already abundance, if you will, that is already surrounding you in your here and now, right? That brings you back to being present also. And the presence or present is a gift. And what that really means is that, this present moment is really where you are. This is where your life resides. And we can get so lost in the past or the future that we forget about what we are doing now and how we are actually truly utilizing our time, our energy, and our effort. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. Also, we have number 24, self-love. So that's what I was really feeling at the base of all of this for you, Taurus, was that for a lot of you, this is a period of time where you're really being asked to commit to your own self-care, your own level of self-love, and also remembering and honoring the body as a temple, right? Meaning that how do you treat a temple? With purity and respect. And so therefore, knowing that your body is really the temple or the house for your soul, right? We are only given one, and the most intimate, close relationship that you will ever have in your life is going to be with with your own body, right? So this is like gaining a major awareness about your health and aligning your desires also with things that provide a healthy environment for you. Okay, so let's see what else we can get here, Taurus. I'm going to get another card from the Fairy Forest Oracle. So please give me one card. Thank you. Interesting. So we also have number 45, the Ancient, Elder, Experience, and Lessons. All right, some of you could be gaining some level of sacred wisdom or knowledge, okay? I believe that who is depicted here is Odin, if I'm correct. And what's to be known about Odin, because he is, of course, one of the ancient, like the elder gods, right? He actually gave up his left eye for greater knowledge. And that's also kind of interesting as well, because what this is kind of indicating is that, by not being able to physically see, it's about being able to spiritually see or feel or intuitively know, right? And so there is some sacred wisdom or knowledge to be known in that. And that really also, just as much as there is this physical reality that we are experiencing in front of us, not to be completely consumed and tricked into believing that that's all that there is, or that's all that we are, right? Because the reality is that you are actually a spirit, a soul, right? You have an internal, infinite essence that cannot be broken, it cannot be destroyed, it cannot be owned either, right? You truly are sovereign by birthright, and that is the right that all beings actually share. However, That's not to go with saying that with having certain levels of sacred knowledge and wisdom, as many powerful individuals in this existence, in this reality do. If we personally don't have an awareness of this, then we can oftentimes be swayed by the opinions and the desires of others. And so therefore we become pawns on the chess. We become used by the game rather than being a player in the game. And so for a lot of you, this is stepping back into that awareness, right? Recognizing that it's really just about the mindset and where you think you are and who you think you are. We also have number 43, the golden unicorn. Protector, champion, and a guardian. Okay? You know, this could be really some level of you redeeming or saving yourself. I'm seeing just even with this imagery of somebody coming into some level of redemption or salvation. But it's like a very personal, intimate experience that sets you forward and sets you, as many of you, on a completely new path. Something that you have not pursued before. Let's see what we can get here. I'm going to pull the tarot for you first, Taurus. I'm going to use the Modern Witch Tarot. So please, Spirit, can you tell me what is the present energy for my Taurus? We have the World, exactly. So some of you are actually coming to some level of completion in your life of a cycle, whether it's an energetic one, whether you are reaching a certain age, okay? There's something here where, you know, essentially what the World, if you can really visualize here, is that she's about to step into a new portal, right? A new beginning, which would indicate the beginning as well as the ending of something. So we have two infinity signs here, right? Kind of indicating, again, it doesn't end, right? This is also the last card in the tarot, the World. Okay, it's card number 21, and then we start back again at 0, which we see like that giant womb, that giant opening, that giant circle, right? 0 is the beginning, and it's not included in the number system when we count, because 0 encompasses all things. It is representative of the universe. Okay. So please give me one more card here. What else does Taurus need to know? We have the Devil here as well. Okay, so this is what is being left behind. But please note as well that with the World, though she is about to step into this new portal, right, this new beginning, to be born again in a certain way. Again, some of you something is being redeemed, okay? She can't help but look over her shoulder at that Devil energy. It's just something that once kept her restricted, once kept her really in the underworld. The Devil speaks about being inverted, being turned upside down, literally, right? Something that was sacred being tarnished, okay? So some of you underwent a very challenging struggle cycle. It could have even been a relationship to a particular person, okay? But it does indicate, you know, and this is where we then have to be very honest with ourselves in certain situations. The Devil can also indicate that energy of, you know, it takes two to tango. So we see two people here linked to this chain, or by this chain. And these chains they're not bound completely. It's not like their hands are tied or that they can't set themselves completely free if they wanted to. But there's some sort of, you know, there's something that is keeping them bound to the situation that could really be exploiting the person for some sort of personal weakness or desire or temptation that they have, okay? So, you know, that's where you have to really look at what that is for yourself, Taurus, because that could come in a variety of different ways, right? The Devil, even within itself, really is just negative energy. We have positive and we have negative. But really what it comes down to is what is known as quote unquote negative energy. And it just means essentially energy that is, you know, born from or transpires from a place of lack, of fear, doubt, insecurity, hatred, whatever, right? There's like all of those sorts of low vibrational energies. Those all need to be harbored somewhere, right? They don't, and even when we experience those things, even if we switch back to positive thinking and, we don't really think about the consequences, remember that thoughts are truly things. They don't simply just disappear. So unless they're actually looked at, again, we were talking about the subconscious mind earlier here, Taurus. So this could be what it is for a lot of you, is that you have to, again, re-engineer your subconscious programming, especially if you are prone to ultimately perhaps think of worst case scenario, or doubt certain things, or have fear surrounding certain things, especially things that are new opportunities. If like you oftentimes like second guess yourself, or it just seems that there's this constant pull of something holding you back, this is like really actually confronting it and looking at what it is before you begin, right? Because you have that moment, right? The world also indicates like starting a new chapter in a book, right? And if we're taught to read correctly, because there is actually a correct way to read and to study and things like this, but if we read things correctly, when you finish a chapter, you should always take a moment or time to pause and reflect on all that you either experienced or learned or understood from that last chapter before you proceed and move forward. So this is the same thing in life as well, right? We can get so again fixated on either the past or the future, that even when we start new projects, new things, essentially the flavor of the last experiences, or even the many last experiences, can still be surrounding us as we move into new territories and try different things. And so ultimately that it fogs up the filter, if you will, of your experiences, if there's certain things that are left unaddressed. Okay, so let's see what else we have. So what energy is Taurus stepping into with this world? Okay, interesting. So we do have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands can be seen as relief, right? Because 10 is also about completion. You have the World and you have a 10. So these are two cards of completion. The Ten of Wands in particular, this is somebody who's carried on a personal burden for a very, very long time. Okay, where you could have taken on the burdens of others, or even just the things that perhaps you manifested yourself. Okay, again, this is going to require for us to be very honest with ourselves if we really do wish to do the inner work and make great progress. So what I feel like here, Taurus, is that some of you also, you could be really realizing that you are just simply taking on more than what is necessary, right? And you're being relieved of this burden. But we will see we'll clarify some things to see more of what this Ten of Wands can be about. Interesting. We do also have the Ace of Wands. Okay. As we know, the Ace of Wands, as with all aces, speaks to potential. Okay, so the ace is not necessarily a promise of something happening, but it is an opportunity. Okay, so it's up to you whether you're going to take this divine opportunity and do something with it. For some of you, I am sensing that it could have something to do perhaps with even travel. Okay, and with this Ten of Wands, you may have to actually consider giving up certain items and objects that may not be necessary in this move. But we will see more of what this Ace of Wands can be about. So can you tell me anything else about the Ace of Wands? Thank you. So we have the Seven of Pentacles as well. All right, Taurus. So remember that we had the card Patience earlier here as well, right? So these are two cards that indicate waiting. But as I mentioned, there's the proper version of patience where, you expect and have faith that good things will come, but that's because you're doing the work every day and you're really doing all that and putting forth all the effort that you can to align with your greatest self, to align with your true purpose, right? Otherwise, if we're simply waiting for things to change without actually changing ourselves, progress can be made like that, but it will be very slow and very difficult to see. Okay, so this is almost a matter of also reprioritizing your goals even. Okay, because the next step after the Seven of Pentacles is that Eight of Pentacles of doing the work, whatever the work is. It's going to be different for every single person. What the great work is known as is not simply just the work that you do to bring income into and to pay for your bills. The great work is really a personal journey, right? This is something that each individual has to undergo, and it's an alchemical process as well. So what I feel like is that perhaps for some of you, this is shifting into that mindset again of recognizing that if you are not putting forth the effort, right, then unfortunately you're not able to, you're not going to see the results, right? Or the results are not going to come as quickly. Okay. So we have the death card also. This is a major transformation. As we know, there's no such thing as death. Death is an illusion and life is a dream. And so the interesting thing to note is that even though we see death here, and there is again people hoping to be redeemed and things like this, we even see this innocent child kneeling and offering forth a rose. It really indicates that level of purity of a child, of being born again. So this is what I was indicating, is that for some of you, especially if we're leaving behind the devil energy, this is like a true purification of the heart, right, of the mind as well. And those two things are really going to have the greatest impact on our reality overall, or our experience. So there's the moon, right, which is again that subconscious energy. So also remembering that the subconscious energy is really about our dreams, our fears, our hopes, our desires, our shadow component. Essentially, we see two individuals here wearing masks, right? So I would also recommend for many of you to look into Carl Jung's work regarding the shadow self, okay? And we all have a shadow self. What the shadow component really is the hidden aspects of ourselves that we don't show to the world. All of those hidden things that we choose to suppress for whatever reason, but are very much there. That's what's represented by that shadowy figure lurking there in the water. Okay. It's almost like it's something that's not really there, at least in the physical, but mentally it's very much there, and it can cause disillusionment and fear, and it can cause all sorts of other issues, right? So this is why, again, studying the subconscious mind, studying self, is going to be the greatest work that one ever does, because that's really what determines your success. True change begins within, always. It's never an external thing. We also have judgment, okay? So that's, again, another energy of redemption. We have 3 major arcanas here also, okay? So this is indicative of a lot of, impactful energies coming through. Also, some of you could have Capricorn, Scorpio, Cancer, or even just strong Pluto placements in your own chart, or have people in your environment that embody this as well, okay? But let's go ahead then and see what we can get for the energies that are coming towards, because it is telling me here that, again, for many of you, Taurus, you are releasing some level of unnecessary baggage. You may have carried something with you for a very long time, or some sort of burden, okay? But there's a lesson that is being learned here. And, soon you'll be able to begin again. So what's interesting is we have the completion, and then again, the brand new beginning, the Ace of Wands. And this is what you are going to be most focused on in the future. So let's get more about this Ace of Wands, this opportunity being presented towards you. Okay, we'll see in which way it will come to you, Taurus. So before we begin with that, I will get some cards from the Energy Oracle. So can you tell me what Taurus needs to know mid-month, or whenever this message is received? As we know, time is not linear, so this message may resonate at any time that it is received. All right, Taurus, so we have number 7, community, okay? This could be about you being mindful of the company that you keep as well, okay? The community, the environment that you're in, the people that you surround yourself or are influenced by, whether that's at home, work, etc., friendships, because we do see here that there was an energy of the collective good. So remembering that just as much as we can influence those that we come into connection with, the collective and others can also affect us as well, right? And if we are not, again, clear on our energy, if we're sure that our opinions and values aren't influenced and shaped by our own past and our own perceptions, then, we can find that we either get easily influenced or impacted by what is going on around us, or, the lives or the opinions and ideas of those around us, right? So this is going to be where, you're putting down some burden. Some of you could be choosing to, especially I feel like for some of you, There may be some sort of connections that you've been in where maybe you've taken more of the burden, okay? You put forth more effort than those who are around you, and you know, you've had enough of this time, okay? Because with the devil, again, that is indicating simply it can be toxic relationships, and these can come in many, many forms, right? So let's see what else we can get. We also have number 13, financial constraints, okay? So, you know, this is the difference between having a lack mentality and an abundance mentality or mindset. What I feel like for a lot of you is that you also need to be mindful and aware of things that make you feel as though perhaps you're not really whole or worthy or capable of certain things, because one, you are, and two, right, that's again a trick of the mind. And what was being said here in the very beginning of this reading was that you needed to be reminded that you live in an infinite universe, right? We had Gaia's garden. So I told you, Taurus, any significant change always starts from within first, right? We hear it all the time, you know, be the change that you want to see in the world. So if you wish to see pleasant things and experience, you know, more simplistic times where things are not so heavy on your shoulders, then you have to embody that first and be that to all others and express to all others. Otherwise, the universe is simply a mirror, and it's going to reflect back to you whatever energy you choose to put out, right? And this goes for all of us. So this is why to have an abundance mindset, to see opportunity when it is around you, because it's always around you. You can learn anything, you can try anything. Oftentimes, you know, there's so much that is actually ahead of you. So, you know, don't get caught, don't get held back, especially by your subconscious minds. Don't be caught by fear, okay? So we also have, wow, 45, man holding a heart. This could be in relation to this Ace of Wands, okay? Perhaps for some of you, there is actually somebody who will be expressing some level of intimate, you know, attraction towards you. Because also what's interesting is that we have 45, which breaks down to 9, right? That's how we distill the number. So that is, 9 is Mars energy. So for some of you, you could potentially be dealing with someone who is a fire sign, okay? But let's see what else we have here. So on the bottom, we also have number 28, victory. What I like is that 28, 2 plus 8 is also 10, right? So technically we have, you know, 3 cards indicating some level of completion on something, no matter how big or small it is, okay? Interesting. We also have strategy as well. So this is reminding you, Taurus, that as you know, you steer the direction of your boat or your vessel. So therefore, you know, you need to have an idea of where you truly wish to go, right? That's the difference between, you know, waiting and hoping and actually, you know, keeping busy. So having a strategy is going to be of the utmost importance as well, right? And committing yourself to your strategy also, okay? How do you create a strategy? Well, look at your goals, long-term, short-term, and, you know, ask yourself what you would have to do on a day-to-day basis in order to get to those things, right? Whether that's something to do with your health, your fitness, you know, certain skills, you can always create a strategy. So this is going to be perhaps where a lot of you are going to feel like you can start again on something. Okay, yeah, because we have door to personal healing and happiness, which of course that door is inside. Regardless of any physical external changes that one could make, whether that is with themselves, their environment, anything else, it's only going to be a positive change and a lasting change, again, if it's a change that is from within first, right? So a lot of you are going to find a major, like, after learning some great lesson, after putting a burden down, you're starting again. You're seeing that there's hope, that there's even something brand new. So let's get some more oracles, and then I'll go ahead and pull the tarot. Let's see if we can find anything about this man holding a heart here. So can you tell me anything about this energy for my Taurus? So we have Mithras, which is sacrifice. Okay, Mithras is one of the ancient sun gods. Okay, and essentially why he speaks to sacrifice is because just as symbolic of the sun, how it rises and sets every day, this is indicative of what is known as, you know, essentially rebirth or transformation, right? Essentially, if sacrifice is here, you know, this could be perhaps this person willing to do something noble, okay? Making some sort of personal sacrifice for the greater good, okay? On the bottom, we also have Apollo, inquiry, okay? So he has that bow and arrow. Some of you could be dealing with a Sagittarius, or again, have those placements in your own chart. What I feel like is that there is going to be some sort of incoming message that is of great significance. Okay. So let's see what else we can get. It looks like, you know, if there is this this love opportunity seems to be in regards, or sorry, this man holding a heart seems to be in regards to this inquiry. So let's get one more card from the astrology deck. So can you tell me anything else that Taurus must know about this energy? Well, we got 2 cards. Speaking of which, we do have Jupiter, your confidence, courage, and self-belief and luck. Okay, so more Jupiterian energy, as I was mentioning. So definitely very strong here. Even this person could have something like a Sagittarius moon, or, you know, a strong Jupiter placement. Perhaps in the 6th house, okay? You know, so their Jupiter could be in the sign of Virgo. So what we have here is the work, health, and duty area of your life. Okay, so this person could be very much focused on their own personal work. Okay, but perhaps they're willing to make some form of sacrifice to try something new, to take a leap of faith on something new. Okay, that's very interesting. We also have Gemini as well. Okay, this energy around you is communicative, mischievous, lively, witty, and informative. Stimulating exchange is possible. So remember as well, Gemini energy is Mercury, which speaks to indeed communication, as it's an air energy, so it could be through thought, spoken word, written word, etc. Okay, so it does seem that this person has intentions of communicating with you, okay, or there's some sort of but I am very curious to know as to what sacrifice is being made here, because it seems like this person's making a decision, right? And it's like an all in or nothing type of decision as well. Like this individual is jumping off of a cliff here, right? And what this is known, because we see an eagle here as well, as there's something called the eagle dive, and you'll see it depicted in many different types of fantasy movies and things like this. But essentially, it's like a leap of faith of, you know, just jumping. And some people say when they've done great things, when they've had faith in themselves, they've jumped up from high heights, and, you know, they've closed their eyes and they don't know how, but they've just landed. They just knew how to fly, essentially, or how to move their body. So it's like really the difference between like believing it, because the thing is, if you don't, you can choose not to jump, or you're going to, and if you do, you better have faith, right? So that's very interesting. Let me see what else we can get here. I'm going to pull some cards from the Gilded Tarot. Oops. So please give me one card. Oh, okay. So we do have the Knight of Wands, which is more fire energy, specifically Aries. We have the High Priestess as well, okay? So this is lunar energy, the moon. So there could be something here about something being revealed or concealed. All of the details not fully being shown. Okay. Can you tell me anything else here? Thank you. We have the Queen of Cups as well. Okay. This is Piscean energy, but what is interesting to know is that the Knight of Wands is going towards the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is actually seeming that she's walking away from the Knight of Wands. Okay, So that is very interesting. Okay, we'll see if that, I'm assuming that energy is the energy that you're embodying. Okay, so we got 3 more cards. We do have the Lovers. As we know, this does speak to some form of soulmate energy, but more than anything, the Lovers truly, like in its authentic form, speaks about fate. It speaks about destiny. Okay, it can be Gemini energy as well, and we did see Gemini here. Okay, we have the Emperor. Okay, more Aries energy. And we have the Page of Wands, which is, again, a messenger. So all pages in the ancient kingdoms and things like that, or their purpose was to send a message, right? Or bring something from other kingdoms. It could be like a gift. It could be a spoken word. It could be all sorts of things, right? So they oftentimes would come with something in hand. And this particular Page of Wands, well, they're holding the Ace of Wands, okay? So this does seem like there is something here that is being presented to you, and on an internal level, it is showing that this person shows or expresses Emperor attributes. Okay, the Emperor is the divine masculine. He is supposed to represent all 4 suits, right? Meaning that he's like the king of all kings. Okay, but not, this is not to say this energy, like if somebody shows as the Emperor, this is who they are. It just means that essentially this person seems to embody quite the balanced masculine traits. Okay, and I feel like that's why Mithras may even be shown here as well, is because this person, it seems that they're quite confident with the Knight of Wands, and they're not afraid to take risks. They're not afraid to jump into things and see how they go. Okay. I feel like this person also will come to pursue you quite heavily, if that makes sense, right? Because the Knight of Wands is of course, he's very passionate, but he's also quite determined as well. The Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords are the most determined knights in the deck, right? So there does seem to be a certain level of determination on this person's behalf. And we do also have the Two of Swords as well. Okay. So what is interesting is that although this person does seem to embody quite a lot of masculine traits, they can struggle to harmonize or balance their logic and their intuition to some degree. So this person may be head first, heart later, or the opposite, where they think with their heart first and think about the consequences after. Okay, but there's that Eight of Wands, which of course we know is the arrows of love. This does indicate some sort of message or even action being taken. And we do have the Seven of Cups here as well. So this is indicative of having many options. Okay, many options, and not necessarily all of them being of benefit to you. So this person could have many options, or you could, Taurus. I will get some more cards here from the Doreen Virtue to clarify some things. And then we're going to actually move back to some things here as well, Taurus, because I do see here, just with like financial constraints, that it's indicating to me that someone in this situation is perhaps feeling limited, whether it's in actual physical resources, mental power, physical drive, there's just, it's like a sense of lack, and we do really want to make sure that we review that and look at how we can absolve that. Okay, so we have honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Okay, often I do see this card as indicating some level of travel. That could even be what it is that this person is sending a message or inquiring with you about. They could be perhaps traveling themselves. Okay, especially with community here, it could be speaking to perhaps like online community. So perhaps it's through some form of social media that you're perhaps receiving some sort of inquiry or message from this individual, Taurus. Okay, can you tell me anything else I need to know? And what I'm saying here is that this person could be at some sort of distance from you, because I'm kind of seeing, even though it's not, it's Venice, but it's almost like 2 cities. So you could live perhaps in 2 different like neighborhoods or parts of a city, or even different provinces, something like this. Okay. provinces or states or whatever, you know, separations. So we also have here this new love, okay? A new person has stirred your romantic interest or feelings. So I do feel that this person, Taurus, this is it's reaffirming that this is somebody that you have not necessarily had a true intimate connection with before, okay? Meaning that I feel like you haven't explored the realms of love with this person. And there is an undoubtable attraction that this person feels towards you, right? But what I just think is interesting is, since this Queen of Cups is walking away from the Knight of Wands, you know, it's almost indicating to me, okay, we have children here as well. Your love life is being affected by children. So you could have children, or perhaps this individual, as it is showing up under man holding heart. For some of you, that could be another situation that perhaps influences this the connection between the two of you. Especially with the Page of Wands, as the pages can speak to children. So this person could have a child, specifically a fire sign child, okay? But with the Emperor here as well, right? The Emperor can be a father also. So I do just want to reaffirm that for some of you, okay? And that could be a situation that perhaps that could be a factor. It's not to say that it's like the breaking point, but it does indicate that that could be a factor, either on one or both sides of things. Because also with community, right, we see it's very similar to the Three of Cups, kind of indicating like there's three people involved in a situation, okay? So, you know, again, there could be some sort of additional influence that's going to be present in terms of this connection, okay? We do also have attraction, okay? You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully, okay? So this brings us back to that message earlier in this reading about being present and seeing things for what they are and enjoying things and finding bliss in your here and now, of making every moment enjoyable for yourself. How? By starting again with self-love, right? Self-care, putting forth the time and the effort to, you know, tend to your body, tend to your heart, to replenish yourself, to refresh yourself, you know, eat clean, detoxify, clean your environment, you know, manicure and show love to yourself, you know, even with the body. Like, many of us don't even massage our own body or, you know, spend that intimate time. So this is really showing that when you start to embody more of that loving energy towards yourself and that respect towards yourself, the universe understands that you are now ready to receive that in return in the external world as well. Okay, so Taurus, let's go ahead and we'll pull some cards to clarify a few things, and then we'll close out the reading with some oracles, okay? So I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot. Okay, can you tell me anything else about this Ten of Wands for my Taurus? Thank you. So we have the Ace of Swords. Okay, that's a major breakthrough. This is gaining major clarity on a situation, and ultimately it can advance you forward very quickly. We see that spiraling staircase, which is really indicative of the Fibonacci sequence, which is also like the golden ratio, right? So this is really powerful. The Ace of Swords is nothing to overlook, because this is something that can truly set you free, and most importantly on a spiritual and mental level. Okay, some of you are really tapping into long forgotten parts of your mind. Okay, well, we have Death and Rebirth on the bottom. I'm still going to shuffle, but that's just interesting to see here, because that's what I was saying earlier, right? We do have the Death card here for you on the bottom of the deck, Taurus. So this is just telling me, again, it's a death and a rebirth. Also, 1 + 3, we have 13 here, and we have 13 here, is 4, right? And as I always tell you, the geometry of 4 can be a door or it can be a block, right? And so the difference is just really about, you know, what it's speaking to. So like what area of our life it may be speaking to. And just because we do have financial constraints in the center here, again, this is just looking at the resources that you do have. Because what's very interesting here is that inside of this seemingly empty cabinet, there's still these 2 golden coins, and there's also a book, right? So it's indicating that, you know, even if it seems like there's very little, you know, you may have enough to get you to where you need to be. As well as with that book, you know, it's indicating some level of, again, wisdom, knowledge, okay? Advancing by, you know, putting forth effort to your skills. You know, it could even be something as small as investing a little bit of money in some sort of course or something that's going to actually help you to develop some sort of skill that will help you to then do what it is that you want to do next, right? But it's all a step-by-step process. Okay, so let's see what else we can get here. Can you tell me anything else about this Ace of Wands energy? Beautiful. We have the Queen of Pentacles, okay? What I love about the Queen of Pentacles is that she resides in that abundance energy, right? If we're speaking about Gaia's energy or Gaia's garden, it really would be depicted by the Queen of Pentacles. She's sitting in nature, and she recognizes that true beauty and true abundance is actually in nature. All of the false things that we see in the external reality, you know, the flashy things, the brand names, all of that, that is the matrix. That is the false representation, right? And that's what people get consumed and stuck and held by, right? So when we begin to actually see the beauty within nature, which is also the beauty that is found within ourselves, this is how we truly begin to flourish. Abundance is more than anything. It's a mindset. It's a belief in oneself, of being worthy, of being abundant, of knowing, you know, your origin, knowing yourself. Okay. And, you know, this card is indicating reaping what you sow. So we see that giant pentacle in her hand. Pentacles are very much, as you can say, like seeds, right? And you had the Seven of Pentacles in your subconscious energy. So this is telling me that, you know, this is the switch now turning, right? From perhaps waiting for something to change and recognizing that, again, you are the change, that it begins with you, that it's the moment that you choose to set your mind to something, that it will then happen. But it is also indicating that as you are finding this part of yourself and tapping into this part of yourself more intimately, be aware that you will draw the attention and draw more light to yourself from those around you as you start to purify your energy and as you start to elevate in your frequency and vibration, right? This is now, your light is starting to shine, and so therefore you attract the attention of many. And in this particular case with the Lovers, this is indicating that this particular person, there is indeed a fated reason as to why you and this person will meet, Taurus, okay? There's a divine purpose for that because it was written. Okay, it was agreed upon. So let's see. Can you tell me anything else then about the Lovers energy? Oh, well, there's the King of Wands, okay? So again, some of you very much I am seeing could be dealing with a fire sign. We have the Page, the Knight, as well as the King of Wands now appearing here. Okay, that is Leo energy. But either way, I will mention that the King of Wands is typically known to be very magnetic. He's very sexually appealing. Okay, magnetic, charming. He's just somebody who, you know, they have that masculine energy, and that's really what I was seeing with the Emperor appearing here. There's something that's very attractive and masculine about this individual. It could be, yes, of course, a feminine energy, but if I'm being quite honest, it does seem that this is speaking to a masculine in this particular case, Taurus. Okay, so perhaps, again, maybe the reading even needs to be switched around, and you could be this masculine who is now, you know, wanting to approach this Queen of Pentacles, okay? Which makes sense as also. But what I'm seeing here overall, Taurus, is yes, you're sitting here in this Queen of Pentacles energy. I also see, because the Queen of Pentacles, she's supposed to be depicted as the earth is her home. This can also be indicative of your own personal home or space, okay? So some of you could be like redecorating or clearing the space, especially with the Ten of Wands here. Like I said, it's almost like getting rid of and making space with things that are no longer necessary, things that you no longer need, okay? But I'm going to get one more card here to clarify the Lovers. So please give me one more card. Can you tell me anything else about this Knight of Wands and the Lovers? Thank you. Well, there's the Empress. So now we have the Emperor and the Empress. That's very interesting. For some of you, this person, that could even be why children is here, is that this person may want children. okay? And that could even be a component that the two of you may have to discuss, okay? If that is not the case here, what I'm seeing is that either way, we have both the Emperor and the Empress. And it's just very interesting to note that with the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands, they are very different types of energies, but they are both, royals, if you will, in their own sense. So they've gained their own thrones through their own forms of experience. And the Queen of Pentacles in her own right is also known as, she speaks to like physical energy. She's also known to be very physically beautiful and sensual and things of this nature as well. Okay. So despite the fact that she's very grounded, that's something that actually makes her very attractive. Okay. So I feel like when you really start to step into that energy, because you are the Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, right? Male or female, you are the embodiment of this. And so what is interesting is that, as I said, it just almost seems that there is something here though with the Queen, the High Priestess, and maybe I'll get one more card to clarify, because this individual has two cards here indicating something about being blindfolded. So that could even just simply mean that this person has yet to reveal themselves to you, but I do see them expressing themselves through some sort of message, okay? And if I'm being quite honest, it does seem as though the message, again, it's an inquiry, okay? So this person could actually be asking your status, okay? As they are attracted to you. And I see that this person is just, again, they're taking a leap of faith and just seeing what might happen, okay? They're willing to take on whatever your response might be, okay? So can you give me anything else about this Emperor energy? We have the Two of Pentacles as well. So there is something here to do with having to make a decision, perhaps between two tangible things. Okay, well, fine. Can you tell me then what the decision may be between? Can you give me two cards? So Six of Swords, again, very similar to this honeymoon energy, could have something to do with travel. Okay, so you may have to travel, or this person may have to travel. Okay. But remember, the Six of Swords also indicates this person has baggage, okay? So there may be something that this person is maybe choosing to sacrifice and leave behind, okay? So that they can come with, they can make it to you. So I got these three cards. They came out together, Taurus. We have the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Wands again, and then the Page of Cups, okay? So I feel like it's almost like when some of you are really going to be caught by surprise, because you may be going through some form of like mental turmoil, okay? And then you receive that Ace of Swords, the breakthrough, the clarity, right? And it just, I feel like if you have been very mentally plagued for some time, Taurus, you're going to be able to put these burdens away, like the dust is being cleared, because the Ace of Swords is kind of like symbolic of the clearing after a terrible storm, if you will, right? With that Nine of Swords, it's a very destructive energy, but more than anything, it's a self-destructive energy. So I feel like there's going to be a major surprise that comes in for you as well. Not only when you're ending or completing this period of, what could even feel like what is known as the dark night of the soul for some of you, it seems like there is even going to be a surprise in relation to this person, okay? So let's see what else we have. Also the Seven of Pentacles again. So what this is just telling me is that, even there could be a shift in your perspective as well, Taurus, where you're having greater appreciation for all of the work that you have done, all of what you have cultivated yourself into up until this point, right? Feeling very proud of who you are and all that you have accomplished. Even if on the surface level, it appears as though, you might think that, you haven't accomplished greatness, or that, you've done so many amazing things, but under the surface, we see all these deep roots. So it's really telling you that, like, a lot of what you have to offer as an individual is your experience, is your ability to remain solid no matter what comes your way. You've overcome things and you have great strength, right? And that's something to be proud of, and that's something that should keep you feeling secure, to know that, you've overcome such challenges in your life already, that, you will stand strong no matter what comes, because your roots are deep. A lot of you are really authentic as well, truly, and and that could even be what it is as well, is that you're letting down the burden of having a facade, and you're just being genuinely, authentically, and unapologetically who you are, even with this individual. I feel like you're going to have a different approach, because I feel like maybe in the past you may have made connections with certain individuals, Taurus, that it didn't leave much room for you to really explore or be who you truly are. But you've learned so much at this point that you're fine with, even if you have to sit alone on your own, right? Because I almost see like this Queen of Pentacles away from this community energy. It's like, even on your own, you still look good, you still look great, and you'll still have a good time, right? But of course, having company is great as well. So I feel like you're holding a high level of standards for yourself as well, or you're being asked to hold a high level of standards for yourself, for again, all that you allow into your space, all that is allowed to influence you. You're holding all people and all things to a high standard, just as you hold yourself to a high standard. Okay, so Taurus, let's go ahead and close out this reading. I'll get a couple cards here finally from this. It's called the Island Time Wellness. So I'll see more about this King of Wands and anything else that we can get as closing words. Because this King of Wands does seem to be also the man holding a heart. And again, as I mentioned, Taurus, it does seem very much that this person is going to pursue you quite enthusiastically, to say the least. Like, they're coming straight forward towards you. So we have heart with a key, welcoming love, the one, open your heart, getting together, and perfect. Okay. We also have not today, so not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation, call, or person, boundaries, and still angry. Okay, I will say that for some of you, perhaps, whomever this Knight of Wands is, with the Page of Cups, we also know that the Page of Cups, as all pages are messengers, this could be an emotional message, so this could be an apology or a confession from somebody, okay? And, I can see that perhaps some of you may be tempted to avoid a call or an answer from this person if they catch you by surprise. Okay, but heart with the key is indicating that the key lies in your hands, if you want to take this Ace of Wands or not. And that's kind of how this person is expressing it to you as well. I don't see them being overly romantic right off the bat. I see them just kind of expressing and seeing where it goes, letting you know that they're interested. But, I don't see this person necessarily, they're not coming on too heavily. They will pursue you if you express interest. Okay? Yeah, because we have the runner. Runner, codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, and listening to ego. So, especially with fear of intimacy, that could go one of both ways, or perhaps both ways. The Queen of Cups, though, in traditional tarot, she is depicted with her legs crossed, okay? Kind of indicating that she may be more sexually timid, okay? And so with the fear of intimacy, this is again something that you may, this might be something new that you will have to try, right? Or that you might have to be willing to try. Because with the King of Wands, he can have quite the sexual appetite as well, okay? And if there's imbalances there, that could cause some struggles. Also, for some of you, just watch, again, with children and pregnancy, if you be safe and mindful about what you are doing, because this King of Wands could also get you pregnant. But that's just for some of you. I don't want to just simply put that out there, but I'm just saying, okay, because we do have the cards here indicating this. So can you tell me anything else? Okay. We have the Grim Reaper. This relationship is over. No second chances. Grow, transform your life. Okay. And can you give me one more card here? Okay. Enlightening. Sudden change. Shocking news. Epiphany. That's definitely that Page of Cups energy here about some sort of surprise. So what I feel like is that for a lot of you, okay, it's almost like just as quickly as a lot of things have ended in your life for you, Taurus, that's as quickly as something new is going to come in, and all sorts of transformation is being made as well. Okay. So that's very interesting. And I just feel like here it is also just letting you know, be mindful of this runner energy, okay? Because we can have a tendency to want to run from intimacy, okay? Especially if we've been hurt before. But, you know, not to say that you have to say yes or that you have to accept or open up or take this inquiry, because I do see that that's really what it is and where it lies at the end of all of this, Taurus, is that it is with this King of Wands, whomever this energy may be, they're coming in with an inquiry, at the very least, and they're willing to take a leap of faith and see, you know, your position and where you're at. But I feel like they will only pursue you if you're open and if you show that you're ready. But if you're closed off, or if you express, you know, that you're not ready, this person will either sense that or feel that, and I feel like they will then back off. So that's why with heart and key, the key really lies in your hands, and that's why the Ace of Wands is being offered to you. Okay, so let's go ahead and close it out with one final oracle card. I'm going to use the Lantern Oracle today. Oh, okay, that was way too many, so I'm not going to take that. Can you please give me one card for my Taurus? What does Taurus need to know at this time? So we have 15, distorted desire. Okay, conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and read this card for you, Taurus. Okay, as I feel that there may be an important message. Okay, and it reads, knowing the difference between needs and wants is key to navigating what is at the root of a desire. It helps us to distinguish what is self-sabotaging compulsion or a mirage from what is a genuinely life-enhancing aspiration to be realistically pursued. When what we think we want is not what we need or long for at a core level, the realization of such desires potentially results in something nightmarish rather than a dream or fulfillment. In worst case scenarios, this could have us running for our lives like the featured mother. Whether or not we consciously recognize a delusion for what it is, an untruth can never satisfy our needs. Illusions have no sustenance or substance, and therefore cannot satiate the burning desire that mistakenly drives us to attain them in the first place. Nonetheless, at the origin of every distorted desire is an invaluable lesson for us to learn about ourselves. Gently unpack the reasons why you are turning away from, rather than confronting, the things that are not actually as they seem in your life. It may be necessary to be compassionately release yourself from any unwarranted conviction that things or a person will magically change into what they have the potential to become, and cease making excuses for why they have not. Once we get clear on what our heart's core desire is, and therefore need, we are ready to recognize it in whatever form it takes and to receive it. Make the space for your heart's true longing to come in by freeing yourself of any illusions still haunting you. So that's what I have for you, Taurus. I really do hope that it helps and that it resonates with you. Thank you so much to all those of you who have gone ahead and liked and subscribed to my channel. This honestly means the world to me, and I cannot thank you enough. So thank you so much. It really does help me out. And yes, until I see you all again in a few weeks, I am wishing you the greatest of love and healing. Until next time, my friends.